book is called Farley Follows His Nose. It was a beautiful summer morning, and Farley's bath was over at last. Farley shook himself and drew in a deep breath. Baths always made Farley hungry, but in the breeze he smelled roses and fresh-cut grass and sweaty people and the cat next door and hot dogs. Farley loved hot dogs. Quickly, he followed his nose. The scent got stronger as Farley ran. Soon, more delicious smells mixed in. Hot dogs, apple juice, lemon cake, popcorn, and children. Children. Farley loved children, but the children were too busy to play with him. He just licked and slurped, except for one little boy who was sitting all alone. Farley licked his face. The boy gave Farley his hot dog and some popcorn and a big piece of cake with yellow and green icing. Then the boy's mother saw Farley and she shouted in surprise. Farley ran away as fast as he could. When Farley stopped, he was in a new part of town and he was still hungry. In the warm afternoon, he smelled exhaust fumes and garbage and hot rubber and marigolds and a ham and cheese sandwich. Farley loved ham and cheese sandwiches. "Where did you come from?" A trucker gave Farley some of his sandwich and said, "I could take you home if only you had a name tag." The ham and cheese sandwich was good, but it made Farley thirsty. He walked on, getting thirstier and thirstier as the day grew hotter and hotter. "He's using his nose." Farley followed his nose, and he smelled fresh paint and banana peels and power tools and sawdust and a pool. Farley loved pools. Now that he was no longer hungry or thirsty, Farley fell asleep. He found a nice shady spot and dug a bed in the soft dirt. When Farley woke up, it was getting dark. He's sniffing again. In the cool evening air, he smelled pine needles and wet dirt and tomatoes and mint and toasted marshmallows. Farley loved toasted marshmallows. "But none for you," a girl said. "Dogs' stomachs aren't made for such sweet stuff." Betty was sad. Disappointed, Farley wandered away. At least the park was filled with interesting smells. Farley followed his nose. He found a water fountain, cola cans, candy wrappers, rabbits, and someone hiding behind a bush. Farley loved playing hide and seek. But who was it? But the little boy was crying, and Farley didn't know what was wrong. He checked the little boy all over and smelled popcorn and lemon cake and apple juice and hot dogs. And then Farley knew who it was. It was the little boy from the party. "I'm lost, doggy," the little boy cried. "It's dark and I'm scared and I want to go home." All the good smells made Farley's mouth water. Maybe there was more hot dogs and lemon cake and popcorn at that boy's house. Farley nudged the little boy up and he sniffed the air. Farley followed his nose. He's sniffing. Back they went, past the rabbit hole and the fountain and the marshmallow fire, and past the shady spot and the pool and the sawdust smell. And they passed the marigolds and the hot rubber and the garbage, and Farley hesitated then because that garbage smelled yummy. But the little boy tugged on his fur and he continued on. The scent was there, fainter now but still in the air. He smelled popcorn and lemon cake and apple juice and hot dogs, and they hurried on forward. When they reached the little boy's house, Farley stopped in surprise. The children were gone, and there was no hot dogs or lemon cake or popcorn. But the little boy was happy. "You showed me the way home. I love you, doggy." He hugged Farley and he ran inside, calling, "Mom, Dad, I'm home." Farley sighed. His friend had left, and he was hungry again. He was getting tired, too, and he missed his own family. He walked sadly down the street, wondering where they were. In the dark of the night air, he smelled hollyhocks and squirrels and juniper and aftershave and pizza. Farley loved pizza. Most of all, he loved pizza Uncle Phil sometimes Uncle Phil brought over. It smelled just like this. Farley followed his nose. And there was Uncle Phil. Farley was excited to see him. Uncle Phil was excited too. "Farley, you big mutt, where have you been? We've been looking all over town for you." Uncle Phil didn't give Farley any pizza, but he put him in the car and he took him home, which was even better. Farley was so happy to be with his family again and to see the supper waiting in his dish. Then Ellie